Yo, what's going on, everybody? The Cool Geek here, and I'm actually in the New Year's video. And today I'm going to be talking about how strong and fast Haku is, and going over some of the misconceptions surrounding him. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so, like I was saying, this is a video about Haku, right? The ultimate trap from Naruto. Um, in case you haven't seen Naruto before, Haku's a dude. And, yeah, this video is going to be telling you how strong and fast he is, and also with a few extra things that are a bit harder to put into categories. But yeah, so first things first, since we're talking about Haku, I think it's most fitting to talk about his speed, which is, is like one of his best strong suits. Haku, his speed mostly comes from his Kekkei Genkai. He uses the crystal ice mirrors, which it's essentially it's just what it sounds like, right? It makes mirrors to reflect Haku from mirror to mirror, right? And yes, this means he's light speed. I've seen people try and like say he's not light speed, but let me explain. So, like I said before, it's confirmed multiple times that he uses light to reflect himself, right? Like just the fact that it says mirrors, if you know what a mirror is, right? On a scientific level, it's just the light bouncing off of you, then bouncing off of the mirror, then bouncing back to your eye, right? That's how you get your reflection. So yes, reflections move at light speed. And it's stated in the series, right, in the manga and the anime. It's also confirmed in the data book. Now, a lot of people try and say, well, data books aren't canon, but they are. I'll probably end up doing a video later on about why the data books are canon, but it confirms in the data book. Now, here, let me read this to you, because it repeats it like multiple times. So it says, the important part, right, is in an instant, multiple mirrors of ice are created around the enemy, reflecting nothing but Haku. For Haku, it's possible to move between the mirrors at the speed of light. It's impossible to see attacks sent out from this literal light speed movement. For the opponent, nothing is left but to wait in amazement. So, yeah, um, and it even basically confirms that, like, every mirror shows Haku's, reflection in the lower portion. So, yeah, it's confirmed that he's moving with reflections. Um, so, yeah, that would, in fact, put him at light speed. There are some sort of criticisms about this, but I'll get to that later. Now we can move on to Haku's strength. So his strength isn't as straightforward as his speed. It's very convoluted. But I think I found a pretty good way to sort of word his strength. So Haku should scale to, if not above, Sasuke in strength, right? And Sasuke performed a few feats. This one in specific, right? There's a link in the description to the calc, but essentially he knocks out this giant, grotesque grizzly bear, and it comes out to city block level. Approximately, right? So, and this is Kid Sasuke, by the way, if I remember correctly. This is Start of Forest of Death. So, yeah, and there's not very much significant training between the fight with Haku and the Forest of Death. Actually, I don't think there's any on-screen training for Sasuke at all. So, yeah. And now you might be thinking, oh, well, is it consistent though, right? Well, actually, yes, because literally, like the first quote fight we see Sasuke participate in when he's trying to get the bells from Kakashi, he launches a fireball that leaves a crater in the ground. And there's a calc for this one as well. It's going to be in the description, and it also comes out to city block level. Now, it might seem a little bit weird, but the reason for this is essentially they calc out that the fireball, you can see that crater on screen, right? So the fireball created that little mini crater, right? And it vaporized all of the, matter within the crater, and that's how it calcs, right? So yeah, and it comes out, like I said, to about city block level. So yeah, it's very consistent, that these, younger Naruto characters are about city block level. So it makes sense from a narrative standpoint that Haku would be relative, if not way higher. Um, Now, here's why the fireball matters, because Haku should scale to Sasuke in base without the ice mirrors, right? But here's the thing. Sasuke launched a point blank fireball jutsu at the ice mirrors, and it did no damage. Um you can maybe argue that like you can see it melting a little bit, but I'd argue that that's just the steam from the air, because when people use ice jutsu a lot of the time, there will be it'll make the surrounding environment a little colder for some reason. Even though it's not normal ice, right? So, it did pretty much no damage, because they tried melting it, it didn't work, right? Haku's still able to perfectly use the mirrors. Um, so, yeah, city block level attack does nothing to the ice mirrors. And keep in mind, Sasuke's whole idea with using the fireball jutsu was like, oh, it's ice. I have fire, right? Fire melts ice and turns it to water. Therefore, he won't have the mirrors to reflect off of anymore. Therefore, he'll stop speed blitzing me. So, yeah, and then it did nothing, right? Now we can sort of get into more of the nitty gritty. So, uh, now keep in mind, the ice mirror jutsu, the way Haku used it against Naruto and Sasuke, is it surrounds the user in a bunch of ice mirrors, right? And now, keep in mind, this jutsu is reflecting Haku from mirror to mirror. So every scene where Haku is visible in every mirror at once, that's not clones of Haku. That's literally Haku moving around so fast that it tricks Naruto and Sasuke's eyes into thinking there's like 10 of him. Now I'm pretty sure I'm lowballing that, because I can see almost like at least like 1, 2, 3, 4, at least like 8 mirrors on screen. This is only like less than half. So yeah, it's blitzing Naruto and Sasuke's eyes that badly that it looks like there's like 20 clones of Haku. It's really bad. Um, so and here's the thing, right? This sort of confirms this, right? So Sasuke, when he first uncovered, like, experiences the ice mirrors, right? He says it's conceivable that he has clones hide in the mirrors, right? And then he says, um, and they all throw the needles simultaneously, right? And then it says, if it's a mirror clone jutsu, I don't see the reason for the ice mirror. So let's sort of break this apart. This is all in essentially like a few seconds. So let's break apart the first section. It says it's conceivable that he's hiding clones in mirrors, and then it says gets them to all throw Sinbon needles simultaneously, right? So this basically says, from Sasuke's perspective, all of the needles are being thrown at the same time. So Haku is so fast that he's able to throw the needles from 20 different directions, and from Sasuke's point of view, they're all being thrown at the same time. So yeah, because this is important, because a lot of people try and downplay Haku and say, oh well, Sasuke was able to like perceive his movements or something, and well, base Sasuke, as we can see, really doesn't. And that's really important. And the only time I think Sharingan Sasuke was able to like see Haku, but keep in mind the Sharingan gives you precognition. I'll probably do a video on like Kid Sasuke in the future, because I've heard a misconception that when you don't have the fully evolved Sharingan, you don't have precog, but that's a very bad misconception. Even from the earliest stages, the Sharingan does give you precog. Granted, not as good as the fully evolved one, but so yeah. So keep in mind, from Sasuke's perspective, all 20 of these quote-unquote clones are throwing the needles at the same time, and they're not clones. They're literally just Haku blitzing between the mirrors really fast. Um, and Sasuke basically acknowledges this. He says, if it's just a clone jutsu, why are there ice mirrors, right? And keep in mind, this is just enforcing the point that these are mirrors. Therefore, they are that the reflection is in fact light speed. As a matter of fact, reflections are inherently light speed, like I said before. So, yeah. Now let's get more into Haku's skill and techniques that are more noteworthy, I want to say. So, basically, what I want to point out is that Zabuza said that Haku is stronger than him, right? Um, so he told Kakashi, yeah, even if you beat me, you're nothing compared to Haku. He's gonna slap you, right? Now, check this out. Pretty much, right? Zabuza says that ever since Haku was a toddler, he's beaten his fighting skills into him, right? So this is very important because if Zabuza actually like sparred with base Haku, right, before his Keke Genkai fully evolved pretty much, right? That means that base Haku should be relative to Kakashi, right? Because Zabuza was relative to Kakashi. They had an entire pretty pitched-ish battle when Kakashi wasn't using his whole like genjutsu shenanigans and crap, right? In pure like raw hand-to-hand combat, they should be pretty relative. So yeah, if we go under that, base Haku should be relative to Kakashi, which sort of backs up the fireball and bear scaling I brought up from earlier, right? So if base Haku's relative to Zabuza and Zabuza's relative to Kakashi and Kakashi should scale above Sasuke, that means that Haku should be above the amount we had him at for AP earlier, right? So, yeah, essentially. And then, right, it says his skills surpass even my own, right? So this would mean that his natural combat talent and prowess, right, like how Haku has those Senbon needles, right, that he uses to destroy people, right? That means that his raw skill with like that stuff surpasses his own, because Zabuza says right after that, and he bears the formidable legacy of an inherited Kekkei Genkai, right? Now, so keep in mind, he says separately, because he says this separate. So he says his skill surpassed my own, and he bears the formidable legacy. So this confirms what I was saying earlier, right? Where I said he should be relative to Kakashi and them in base, right? And then he has his ice mirrors, which exponentially increases speed. So this means that base Haku should be relative to Zabuza and Kakashi, right? Um, so yeah, so basically any strength feats that you have for this era Kakashi. That's why I don't really have any stuff from him, because I couldn't. It's hard to sort of find feats for that Kakashi. I could probably do something with like the force equation with like say his Chidori, but Haku doesn't scale to the Chidori anyway. The Chidori like amplifies your AP by a lot, right? It's an exponential increase. It's way more potent than say a fireball jutsu. So essentially Kakashi's like baseline attacks Haku should be comparable to that. But yeah, you can sort of input your own field of thought if you have anything you want to use for this. This is essentially just saying, yeah, Haku is definitely 100% comparable to Zabuza and Kakashi in base. And then Ice Mirrors, he's exponentially faster, which means he would be way above them, which makes sense because um, when Haku saw that Zabuza was about to die because Kakashi was going to Chidori him, Haku speed blitzed from the other side of the battlefield with his ice mirror and jumped in the way of the Chidori, right? So he essentially speed blitzed Kakashi. Now, what makes this pretty impressive as well is that it was stated in the Chunin exams that to perform the Chidori, you have to be running at top speed. So this is top speed Kakashi running. Again, I want to emphasize this, at top speed into Zabuza, and Haku speed blitzes him from the other side of the battlefield. So, yeah, I just wanted to emphasize that a lot. And also, you can make arguments for Haku having pretty much all of the normal stuff that chakra does for you, but I'm gonna save that pretty much for another video. I have planned to get out in the near future a video about like what chakra like is on a fundamental level, and how it works and such. So be on the lookout for that video. And yeah, so now okay, so I want to clear something up from one of my last videos I did on why Super Boo should be 4D. At the end, I told people that they can hop on Discord, and I would debate them. Some people took that the wrong way. When I say hop on Discord and we can debate it, I'm saying
I believe in my stance, and I will debate you. If you're better than me, that's fine. I don't care. I'll get slapped. It doesn't matter. But I'm a firm believer in this position, so we can debate on it, right? I'm not saying that to be arrogant or something. Some people like sort of took that out of context. I'm just saying that because I enjoy debating, right? It's one of my hobbies, and if I have a position that I feel strongly on and you disagree, why not debate, right? That's sort of my view on it. So at the end of my videos, if I say hop on Discord and you can debate me, that's not me being arrogant or something. I know that I'm not that good, right? So just take when I say that, just know that that's just because I am willing to debate my stance, and I'm welcoming you to join my Discord server, right? My public Discord server, and debate me on it. I don't see anything wrong with that, right? So yeah, and I'm gonna say that after this video, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for this the scaling, right? If you disagree, again, you can hop on Discord, debate me, right? If you don't want to, that's fine. You don't have to. I'm not forcing you. I'm just saying I'm willing to debate my stance, right? I'm not just gonna make claims and then refuse to back them up, right? um so yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hope you're having a happy new year. Hope you got some real good New Year's resolutions. Let me know what type of content you want to see in the future. I'm planning to do a bunch more Naruto content and Dragon Ball content, and maybe I plan to eventually, after I read up on more of DC, I plan to have DC content coming out as well. And yeah, it's pretty much all. Join my Discord server. I have two. My regular Discord server is just for chilling, relaxing. I have a bunch of different text channels and voice channels. You can do pretty much anything there. And I have another server, right? It's for versus debates. You can debate anything you want, like fictional topics. My other server, though, is more if you want to debate IRL topics, right? Then you can hop in that server. You can debate real life topics. But my versus debate server, there people chill in it, but it's mostly for like versus debates and stuff, and just relaxing and talking like normally and stuff. But in my regular server, there's a gaming VC, there's like an ASMR VC, there's a lot of text channels and stuff for say just telling how your day was, right? Telling stories, have an anime flashback, stuff like that. So yeah, that's all for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah, the Cool Geek out. Bye.